Kevin Sidebottom here, speaker, author, and trainer. And I go around and teach sales organizations and leadership teams how to grow influence, generate profits, and grow trust in their organizations and with customers. Today, we're going to talk about communication and why is it important in leadership. Yeah, that's right. Why do you care if you're a good communicator? Well, I can tell you the best communicators are typically leaders. Yeah, that's right. People in leadership positions are really effective communicators because they have to be able to cast the vision to the team. They also have to cast what the organization is going to do so people will follow them and that they'll invest in them. We need good leaders that effectively communicate. If we just have somebody who grunts when we're trying to sail a boat, well, that's really not going to help us figure out who needs to move the sails, how we do that, which way we're pointing, and we'll go nowhere very fast. In business, we have to be effective communicators, and there's a lot that goes into that to build trust. Because if we're not communicating effectively, we're not building trust, we're not gaining buy-in, we're not going anywhere. Today in the video, let's talk about what goes into communication, what it is basically. We're going to talk about how we can actually improve ourselves in communication. I'll give you some actual feedback of what I'm doing and how these videos are helping me, and we'll get you off to becoming an effective leader. So let's talk about what goes into communication. Well, if you haven't learned already, about 90% of communication, nonverbal. That's right. It's not about what you say. It's how you say it, your posture, your body language. If you're wearing a frown on your face and you're trying to say a happy message, people aren't going to buy it. That's typically why the written word is usually taken negative. And that's why you always get these snappy responses back in email when you weren't intending your message to be that bad. So we have to be cognizant of what goes into effective communication. Now, when we're sitting with people, our body language is huge when we're trying to communicate things. If we're wearing frowns or if we're in an intense leaning forward posture or laid back, kind of not caring, it affects the communication. Our colors we wear, that's why you always see presidents wearing specific kind of ties with different suits to show power and authority. But typically when you're trying to build trust, you don't wear those power authority kind of ties. That's right. We want to wear different colors. So there's a lot that goes into it. The environment you're in can actually affect how you trust and how you communicate to people. If it's noisy and you can't speak out well, guess what's going to happen? People aren't going to get the whole message and they're going to miss some points. We also need to make sure when we're talking with people what scents we wear too, because scents can actually throw people off. So when I teach in my sales training and trustworthy training, we actually need to make sure that we're cognizant of what we're wearing and how that can affect people. Now, if you want to do a little experiment, go into a department store. You'll notice that in the women's department, they have different music, different scents being on display as opposed to the men's department or the kids department. That's right, because those all they actually affect communication as well in the medium you're on. That's why on Teams meetings and Skype meetings, when no one's on view of the camera, there's a little bit lack of trust. But when you're on camera and showing yourself, people are actually engaging. And when you say a joke, people are not taking it as snarky when they can see your face. So 90% nonverbal is communication. So let's take a look at what we can do to improve our communication skills. At a very minimum, I recommend How to Win Friends and Influence People from Dale Carnegie. Yeah, it's just a book. You can do an audio book, whatever it is, but it will give you so much insight on communication and how you engage people to actually benefit yourself. If you get a chance, they have actual live trainings that you can go do, and those have been extremely beneficial. I actually went through one. It was about 20 weeks, And I can tell you it was the most impactful part of me growing my sales repertoire because I was actually focused on people and growing with them. It was fantastic. And it wasn't about manipulating people. It was actually to add value. So I highly recommend it. And I also recommend people getting out and speaking in public. Yeah, that's right. Getting in front of a crowd is the number one fear that most people have. That's right. Even more so than death. People fear public speaking more than death. Isn't that interesting? Because people don't like being out in front of people. That's why you don't see everybody leading. But typically people are leading in small capacities, and they need to know how to communicate expectations and how to move forward and how to motivate people. So getting out in front of people and speaking, whether it's a small group where we're leading a discussion, maybe it's a training that we're leading, something we can do to actually get comfortable being uncomfortable and speaking. It will help us if we record it too, so we can go back and watch it and go, wow, I can make this tweak or that tweak. Now, keynoters constantly want to look back at their videos and see how they can improve their message. I'm doing it with these videos. I'll put them out, I'll watch them, and I'll go, man, I should have done this or that. This would actually make this point across better, and analyze it. But we need to have that feedback loop, and we need to have other people looking at our stuff and giving us some feedback. Honest feedback. Not going, oh, you're a superstar, and patting you on the butt saying you're doing fantastic like you were when you were 5. We need honest feedback. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out about communication. I have my website linked down there, some of the blog stuff, and I have links to my trainings. If you need any other information, feel free to reach out. If you like this video and it was helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send to somebody that might help. That's why I do these videos, is to help people. Okay? We'll see you next time.